Stats there. But let's move on. The textile space is booming, and many textile stocks, whether it's Gokuldas Exports, Himmat Singh Seed, have gained over 10% this week. Nigel, interesting, right? I mean, they've come back after a while.
Well, that's right. The textile stocks were buzzing around. So I said, let's focus on a few of these names. And why were they buzzing? For KPR Mills, well, there was that big Fidelity block that took place, 1% odd, which got the stock excited. But otherwise, these stocks were buzzing. So I said, let's put out 6 big reasons why, in fact, they were looking up this week. One is that global retailers, they've reduced inventory. Whether you're looking at apparel segment or you're looking at even the large retailers, Walmart, Nike, all of them, the inventory levels at one point of time, they were looking at destocking. Now the hope is, since inventory levels are lower, maybe they'll start restocking. So that's one point. The outlook, though, that they've given is more or less mixed. Walmart, they had a very good showing in Q2. For Q3, they went ahead and they've raised their guidance. TGX, well, they are saying that the overall volume growth will be around 3 to 4% for the fiscal, which is good. While on the flip side, Target, they're expecting a degrowth, but they're limiting it to single digits. So commentary a little bit mixed, though more on the positive side. Next up, if we're looking at the demand revival commentary from all the managements that came out, Q1 was a little bit softish, but Gokuldas is saying their interactions with their customers are quite positive. So that's one management. The other one is Welspun in there. They are talking about Q2 being good. Remember, that's ahead of Black Friday as well as ahead of Christmas. So they are quite optimistic out there. And Himmat Singh as well as saying that demand is fairly positive and stable out there. While Welspun, Indocount, in fact, they saw a bit of a degrowth in the first quarter, but yet they maintained their guidance for the year. So on the whole, the commentary that came out was positive and a little bit optimistic about the coming quarters. Next up is the FTA discussions. Remember, India has been having discussions with UK, with Canada, as well as the EU. Just to give you one data point, the total market potential out there is $21 billion from the UK itself. India is catering to just $1 billion out there. We are behind China, behind Bangladesh, and even behind Pakistan. So there is some kind of headway with regard to this FTA discussion. Then it opens up a whole new market for the Indians. And in fact, it reduces or it increases our competitive advantage as well. So that could be another point we should look at. Finally, if you're looking at the US market, well, the imports, both on the cotton sheets as well as on terry towels, they have gone up by a couple of percentage points. And China is losing out here. So it shows that we're increasing our penetration into the US markets. And finally, the problem pocket has been that cotton prices have been falling, yarn prices have been falling more. So spreads were unfavorable. Now maybe that will turn around. So that's the hope out there. Risks remain. If US goes into a recession, that will be a bit of an issue. If the spreads don't improve, that will be a bit of an issue. So we're talking about, right, the data is looking very, very good from the US, which is not very, very good news. And maybe they'll keep rates higher. Maybe the textile space could be one space that will see increased demand because the inventory levels are so low out there.
Actually, completely different segment, but we had TTK in the morning today, right?
Yeah, who said
but pressure cooker, they said the same thing, that inventory buildup has happened, but it will start correcting itself by the end of the second quarter. Third quarter onwards, things should look up.
And for these guys, it's important, right? The second and the third quarter more importantly, because that's where they start ordering yet again for Christmas and Black Friday as well.
Nigel.